Hello.
Good afternoon. Am I speaking with Mr. Baxter?
This is he.
This is Genevieve Vanderbilt. I require your professional help in a delicate matter. It's about a murder investigation. I'd rather not talk about it on the phone, though, so please come to our estate at 361 Prime Avenue.
A $150,000 sports car. Very nice. Sure, I'd love to take it for a quick spin. But I'm missing two things. The car keys and the criminal energy. I can't just leave before I've spoken to Mrs. Vanderbilt. I better use the doorbell instead of knocking.
Yes?
My name is Baxter. I'd like to talk to Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Mrs. Vanderbilt is in the garden. I'll take you to her.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baxter. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Of course. I'd like to get straight to the point, if that's all right with you.
Very much so. The sooner this unspeakable matter is resolved, the better.
You said on the phone this was about a murder investigation.
Exactly right. My son is being accused of murder. My son, Walter. What insufferable impudence.
About the murder circumstances. Who was the victim?
Dr. Bedford. Christopher Bedford. Bedford was my daughter Denise's fiancé. This whole matter is a tragedy for our family. First, the shameful way in which Bedford cancelled the wedding, and now this.
What exactly happened?
I didn't ask about the ghastly details, Mr. Baxter. I was only told that Bedford had been slain.
Slain?
Beaten to death. Horrid, really. And the police have the audacity to accuse my Walter of being able to do something like this to another person.
Where and when did the murder happen?
The police said Bedford was found dead in his practice yesterday morning. The murder must have happened the night before.
Who found the doctor?
His receptionist found him in the morning, they told me. A somewhat dim-witted little thing. No sense whatsoever of aesthetics and colors.
I think I've heard enough about the murder. Please, tell me about Dr. Bedford. I notice that you keep referring to the doctor as Bedford. Please excuse my asking so bluntly, but I'm getting the feeling that you don't think very highly of the doctor.
I don't want to talk badly about Bedford, especially now that he's not alive anymore. But I admit you're right.
What did you have against Dr. Bedford?
The man was always a bit fishy, very close-lipped and withdrawn. His constant excuses to stay away from official family business shed a bad light on our name. I honestly don't know what Denise saw in such a man.
What kind of doctor was Dr. Bedford?
He was a plastic surgeon with his own practice.
Sounds like he was very successful.
Moderately successful, I'd say. But I have to hand it to the man. He had a talent for plastic surgery, but he wasted his gift entirely and only accepted patients from Los Angeles.
Exclusively from around here?
Exactly. He could have had international success with just a little bit of promotion.
If he didn't engage in any promotion, then how did he get any patients?
That, Mr. Baxter, is a very good question. He saw and selected his patients only in person. How successful he could have been. I've never understood what my Denise found so fascinating about a man who sells himself under value.
Do you know if the doctor had any enemies?
The sad and embarrassing truth is that I hardly know anything about Bedford, Mr. Baxter. I don't know anything about his friends and acquaintances. Unfortunately, I've never had a chance to meet his family either. Bedford had been an orphan since early childhood.
Enough about Dr. Bedford. contacted my agency.
First of all, I'm highly disappointed by the police effort. If you can call such a measure of incompetence and indifference effort.
So the police are satisfied with their main suspect.
That's right. I'll need to have a word with the chief of police. Fortunately, Brent is an old golf partner of my late husband, God bless him.
Ah, yes.
Furthermore, your agency was recommended to me by a dear friend, Martha Stockman.
Ah, I remember. The Stockman case. How is Mrs. Stockman these days?
It's Miss Meadows again. After the results of your investigation, she divorced her husband, of course. Sad story, really.
Indeed. You sound like you're convinced of your son's innocence.
1,000%. It is incomprehensible to me how anyone could ever accuse my Walter of murder. He is a highly respected member of the community and has never done anything wrong. This is all an outrageous effrontery.
Has Walter exhibited any strange behavior lately?
No, Walter's behavior was downright normal, nothing extraordinary. He even made the best out of the given circumstances.
What circumstances?
Well, a week ago, Bedford dissolved the engagement with my daughter. And this after the both of them had planned the wedding for half a year. The shame of it.
What was his reason for canceling the wedding?
Well, he never gave a reason. As if there could be any reason for such a disgrace. My poor Denise was devastated and heartbroken. And now this.
What was Walter's reaction to the wedding cancellation?
Well, he was furious, of course. What an outrage. My Denise abandoned, his sister, the family honor trampled underfoot, and all that in front of the entire family. The disgrace. Walter was forced to raise his voice and reprimand the doctor for his impudence.
Did Walter threaten the doctor?
Mr. Baxter, you must understand. This impertinence, this effrontery in front of the whole family. The ungrateful Bedford reduced us to the laughing stock of the community. He soiled Denise's name as well as the family honor.
I see.
If Walter threatened anybody, then it was only in the heat of the moment. Thoroughly understandable, I think.
What was the content of these threats?
Nothing really menacing, and I don't intend to repeat it either. How fast a thoughtless word can slip from a heated mind, and Walter had every right.
Has Walter gotten violent before?
What are you hinting at when you say before, Mr. Baxter? Walter is not a violent person, let alone a murderer. Just to hear that word in connection with my son, absurd.
How well did Walter and Dr. Bedford know each other?
Well, they hardly knew each other at all. I always had the impression that Bedford stayed away from the rest of our family on purpose. It was almost as if he wanted to steal our Denise away from us.
But surely he couldn't avoid you all that time he was with your daughter.
Of course not. But I always had the feeling that Bedford avoided the public eye, just as if that man had something to hide.
What has Walter told you about the incident?
Well, the truth, of course. He said he didn't have anything to do with the murder, and he was even more surprised than I that he's being accused. Unfortunately, I didn't have any further opportunity to speak to him. The police refused to let me talk to him. Unbelievable.
Where was Walter at the time of the murder?
I don't know. You should ask him about that in person.
Well, enough about Walter. I'll be going then.
Please inform me of your progress, Mr. Baxter. And money is no object here. The only important thing is that you prove Walter's innocence.
You have a wonderful view of downtown Los Angeles from up here. Looks like a Rorschach ink blot. Looks like the box is almost used up. She seems sad and despaired, but there's a beautiful face hiding underneath all the tears. Good afternoon, Miss Vanderbilt.
Hello, Mr.
Excuse me. My name is Baxter. I'm a private investigator. Your mother hired me to clear up the circumstances of Dr. Bedford's death.
Chris? Oh my God, Chris.
About Dr. Bedford. Did Dr. Bedford have any enemies?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Had there been anything unusual about Dr. Bedford's behavior lately?
Yes, Chris had been acting strange all week. He wasn't himself. Not the man I knew. The engagement... We were engaged, and... he called it off. Chris let me down. But my Chris would never have done such a thing. I don't understand.
What was the reason he gave for the separation?
Reason? He said it would be better for me. He didn't say anything else. No reason and no hint. Nothing at all. I still don't understand all this. Wally was so furious. So furious. And now Wally is... oh, God.
Please, calm down, Miss Vanderbilt. If your brother is innocent, I will find out and free him.
If Walter is innocent, there is no question about it. It's self-evident. We are talking about my son, Walter, a Vanderbilt.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baxter.
Had Dr. Bedford always stayed this long in his office?
Chris often stayed late to prepare for upcoming surgeries or attend to some accounting. But he always told me. He never stayed late without my knowledge.
Did he notify you this time too?
No, he was this busy all week. Now that you mention it, it started a few days before he called off the engagement. Chris missed appointments. He excused himself from dinner every evening. And finally, he disappeared into his practice altogether until... my God.
Could Dr. Bedford have been waiting for a patient that night?
I don't think so. Chris never saw any patients that late.
How long had the two of you known each other?
It had been almost 4 years now, and we were engaged for half a year. Until last week.
Is it possible that another woman...
Mr. Baxter, that is outrageous.
Pardon the question, please. But I have to consider every possibility if we want to get ahead on this.
Yes, No, I understand. No offense taken. No, I don't think there was another woman. Then again, Chris was so different over the last days. Like a complete stranger. I'm not sure about anything anymore.
Enough about Dr. Bedford. How are you?
I can't believe all this. Chris is dead. Oh, God. My dear Chris. And Wally's in custody. This is all a nightmare.
A few questions about Walter. Can you imagine any reason why your brother would murder Dr. Bedford?
Wally didn't take it too well that Chris announced our separation so surprisingly. And in front of the whole family. Everyone was so surprised. I still can't believe it myself. Everything went so fast. Wally became enraged. He cursed Chris and
threatened him too?
yes, but he didn't kill him. No, surely not. Not Wally.
Do you know where Walter was at the time of the murder?
No, I don't know.
Has your brother become violent before?
Mr. Baxter, my Walter is not violent.
Wally does have a bit of a temper. He is very proud, my little brother. Now that Daddy isn't around anymore, he's the head of the family. He is very keen to keep our reputation clean. And he'd always get very angry if someone dragged our name through the dirt. And he's always trying to protect me. But Wally wouldn't murder anyone. No, Wally wouldn't do that. Not my little brother.
Enough about Walter. Thank you very much for your time. I don't want to disturb you any longer.
Disturbed? Yes. Goodbye.
There's something soothing about watching the surface of the water. That's probably why Miss Vanderbilt is sitting here. I don't have time to go swimming now. I don't feel like talking to myself. Well, not right now. The caption says, Saint-Tropez and Sunset Glow. Looks more like a steaming turnip to me. A $150,000 sports car. Very nice. Never Again Topless, the hat collection for the sophisticated lady. Checkmate for Mother Nature, how new facelifting methods cheat age. Bling bling woof woof, which diamond collars are a perfect fit for your little darling. Only fashion magazines and style guides. Makes sense in a practice for plastic and cosmetic surgery. There are glass shards in the floor that must have come from the hole in the entrance door. It seems like the perpetrator gained access to the practice through here. Strange. The majority of glass shards are lying outside the door, not inside the room. I don't need those. Besides, I'd only cut myself. There are only a couple of ball pens in there. Miss McDonald must be keeping the rest of her writing materials in the drawers. A bust of a naked woman. Well, this kind of modern art I could get used to. Miss McDonald is Dr. Bedford's receptionist. Unfortunately, it was her who discovered the doctor's body. I hope she recovers from the shock. Still, you never forget something like that. There's a young lady and a man in the picture. Probably Miss McDonald and her boyfriend or fiancé. She seems very natural and lighthearted. This office plant is a perfect fit for a beauty clinic. Healthy, vibrant, youthful, fresh, and artificial. This certificate is issued to Dr. Bedford. It authorizes him to practice as a physician everywhere in the States. If I lifted the full tank, everything here would be underwater in no time. There's something very calming about the ascending air bubbles and gurgling water. Perfect for a doctor's waiting room, unless he's a urologist. A certificate from a certain Professor Langdon of Harvard Medical. It says that Dr. Bedford was among the top 5 students of his class. This must be the cabinet where the patient files are kept. The drawers are locked. So, this is where the doctor came to rest after he was hit in the head. I've seen chalk outlines like this hundreds of times, and it's still a gruesome sight every time. It seems as if Dr. Bedford had been hit in the head with something. Judging by the bloodstain, the wound couldn't have been very big, but the injury was fatal. Morbid. The stain looks just like the head of a teddy bear. There's a bit of glitter and a picture of a rainbow on the paper. Very strange. Its playful style doesn't fit in with the rest of the clutter. I wonder how forensics could have missed that. I better take that with me. Dr. Bedford's chair seems comfortable, but as Spartan as his desk. The file cabinet's open and has obviously been ransacked. Bills, prescriptions, no patient files. Guess they must be kept in the reception area. Except for the prescription blocks, there's nothing of value in the cabinet. Or if there was, it's already been taken. I don't see any useful clues. A green tiki made from a jade-like material. Somehow I don't find his expression very calming. A pink phone. Someone had a victory over good taste here. Wondrous adieu in pink. Wondrous indeed. Behind the glass door is the practice's examination room. The door's locked and undamaged. I doubt I'd find anything in there that would help me.
Al, what brings you here?
Hello, Sam. I just wanted to check if you're doing your work right or bungling things up again.
Oh, come on. You're just here because you were overwhelmed with homesickness for the good old police duty.
Oh, yes. Nighttime observation in a romantic streetlight atmosphere.
The respect and admiration you get as a policeman every day.
The gut-wrenching excitement while typing reports.
And, of course, the feudal payment. Sometimes I can even afford the odd piece of bubblegum.
Oh, how I miss all that.
Now, really, Al, what are you doing here? Can I help you somehow?
I've been hired to investigate a murder case. The name of the accused is Vanderbilt. Does that ring a bell, Sam?
Yeah, I know a thing or two about the case. Pearson is personally taking care of this one.
Captain Pearson is investigating himself?
Investigation may be too strong a word for it. Gloating would be much more appropriate. After the main suspect was apprehended, the case became a no-brainer for Pearson. Well, all circumstantial evidence points to Vanderbilt, and the man has no alibi. So Pearson could be right.
You're saying that as if you weren't so sure yourself.
Yeah. There are some inconsistencies. Something's a little off.
Excuse me? Sometimes I feel as if an invisible force was trying to make me commit senseless acts. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Al.
So, how's it going?
Don't even get me started.
Can you tell me anything about the Vanderbilt case?
Bedford was found dead in his office yesterday morning around 8 a.m. by his receptionist. According to the medical examiner, Bedford was hit by a massive object in the back of the head, somewhere between 10 o'clock and 11 p.m. the night before. The outer window of the practice was broken, and Bedford's office had been ransacked.
Has anything been stolen?
We don't know for sure yet. Bedford's assistant is still in shock, but a strong box from his office cabinet has been found empty.
Everything looks like a break-in that escalated.
Up to that point, that is. When we questioned Bedford's assistant, it became evident that Walter Vanderbilt threatened the doctor. And we found Walter Vanderbilt's fingerprints all over the crime scene.
Enough evidence for the captain.
That's right.
Anything else?
Not for now. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's a photo of Bedford in case you need it.
Thank you, Sam. How's your new partner doing?
It's going well. We've become quite a good team. We did have our communication difficulties and coordination problems in the beginning, but Bobby proved to be very adaptive. Like a doggy.
I'll be going then, Sam.
Take care, Al. Don't be a stranger.
Captain Edsel Pearson, my former superior. Hello, Captain.
Baxter, what brings me the displeasure?
What can you tell me about the Vanderbilt case, Captain?
You? Nothing.
Captain, I'm investigating for the mother of the accused.
You're not investigating at all here. That's still our job. The Vanderbilt murder is a police matter alone.
Sir, I'm not so sure that Vanderbilt is the right guy. The evidence and my instinct tell another story. I've been a detective long enough to...
Exactly. You have been. But you chose to throw away your career to become a hired snoop. How is your career faring, actually?
Well,
forget it. On second thought, I don't even want to know. Vanderbilt is guilty. The facts speak for themselves. And the investigation is none of your business. Is there anything else you want to harass me with?
gotta go, sir.
Then get out of my office!
Wait a minute, sir. Please show me your visitation authorization.
Inside the showcase are the handcuffs which were worn by the infamous Scott Farley upon arrest. Farley was one of the most successful art thieves in the 30s. Captain Pearson used to be fresh out of the police academy and very proud to be around when they caught Farley. He's still telling the story even today, whether you want to hear it or not. There's a witness protocol beneath the coffee mug with coffee stains. It doesn't belong to the Vanderbilt case. I'd better leave that here. I guess it's important to somebody, even though it might not look like it. I'd grab one, but I've stopped ever since I became a private investigator. I'd better not fiddle around. When I stole his ink ribbon for funsies, he was pissed for days. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Al.
I'll be going then, Sam.
Take care, Al. Don't be a stranger.
Wanted, James V. DeMarco, a.k.a. Jimmy D. Fraud, extortion, forgery of documents, holding fake offices, as well as romantic relations with a horse. A reward of $5,000 is offered for DeMarco's apprehension. Every police precinct will have more information. Wanted, I, Ron Giant. Vandalism, breach of nighttime peace, destruction of public property, repeated resistance of police authority, responsible for a blackout as well as bite marks in numerous vehicles. A reward of $18,000 is offered for Giant's apprehension. Every police precinct will have more information. Hello, officer.
Good afternoon, sir.
I need to enter the holding cells.
Are you related to the accused, sir?
No.
Then you'll need personal approval by Captain Pearson to enter.
Listen, I did duty here for 25. I was questioning suspects before you were even born.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't let you through. Not without authorization. Captain Pearson's orders.
How long have you been working here?
3 months, sir.
How do you like working in the force?
Just trying to do my job and fulfill my duty, sir.
Aren't you getting bored with watch duty? Wouldn't you much rather have a coffee or a...
I'm just following orders here, sir. Please understand.
I gotta go.
Goodbye, sir.
No, that doesn't work like that. Excuse me? How is that supposed to work? Oh, how often I've thought about that. No, that doesn't work like that. It's an article from 1959. LAPD captain wins a dog show. This year's American Poodle Breeder Association Gold Cup rests firmly in the hands of Mr. Edsel Pearson, captain of the LAPD. Pearson, a prominent figure on the poodle scene, has managed to impress both the jury and other breeders with Lab Rocket, as he calls his thoroughbred poodle. Huh.